Okay, so we've got now today with us newly promoted head of coaching, Michael Wilson. Hello, Michael. How are you doing?
Hi, Danny. How's it going?
Okay, so Mike, talk us through the first half. First of all, Alamin Salami scored a hat-trick early on. It looked a little bit physical to me. Was there a lot of stuff going on the pitch that the referee didn't see?
Yeah, it was a good game. The first half was probably better than the second half. I mean, the boys started really well, started really bright, played some really good football at a high tempo, got some early goals. Alamin bagged a penalty and two others in the first half. And I think from that, they sort of got a little bit rattled, the other team, from him. I don't know if he was saying little bits and pieces to them or just his performance he was having in the first half, and a few of them tried taking him out and stuff like that to try and get underneath his skin, and from that it turned into a bit of a physical game, which sometimes the referee gave a few fouls and sometimes he let a few go, and I think that's what sort of potentially got the boys a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more physical, a little bit more, yeah, I'd say probably more physical, just because he didn't know he wasn't giving everything. It wasn't so consistent throughout the first half. And then there was a couple of incidents where a couple of players got sin-binned and stuff like that, just for some late tackles and stuff like that, mainly from the frustration from their players, and our players reacted and lost discipline, and the result of that is they got sin-binned, so they missed out on a bit of football. So we had a talk after the game, and hopefully they learn from it. But yeah, a bit of lack of discipline in the first half from us.
Okay, so we spoke to Alamin, Ibrahim and Haysam, and they were talking about your structure and formation, and before the game you put it to the group about what shape you should play. Is that correct?
Yeah, so with the personnel we had three centre halves available today, and they were three really strong ones. One of them is actually leaving us in a couple of weeks ago after uni. Another one's a first year moving into second year, trying to make himself in the Cat 1 squad, and then the other one's the number 5 who plays every single week at centre half. So we had three good centre halves, and it was a tough decision. I actually spoke to a couple of other coaches before the game about who starts. Do we go to a 3-5-2 and get all three of them playing, or do we go to a 4-2-3-1, which we've used most of the season? So I spoke to a couple of coaches, and I sort of opened it up a little bit with an idea behind what I was going to do to the players as well. And from their responses, they were a little bit more comfortable with the 4-2-3-1, mainly because we work on it more in training and stuff. So we went with a 4-2-3-1 to start with, and we said at half time we would assess it, but after the first half being 3-0 up and in control, we sort of just kept it as a 4-2-3-1, but just changed the personnel within it to make sure everyone gets loads of minutes for the friendlies.
Do you think your decision to play that formation made an impact on the outcome of the game?
I think the boys are so used to playing in the 4-2-3-1, they sort of understand their roles and responsibilities more in and out of possession. So for them, it's a lot more comfortable. So they sort of understand what they're doing a lot more. Whereas a 3-5-2, we haven't really worked on too much in training, and it could cause a little bit of confusion with the individuals on the pitch and stuff. So it was sort of a decision I think helped them, and I think it potentially helped the start they had, because they just felt comfortable in the rhythm of things, what they do every single week, and in the 4-2-3-1. So they understood each other's roles and responsibilities. So yeah, I think potentially. Okay,
so for anyone that wants to come into the academy, at the beginning of the year ones that were playing in that game, do you think they could have started at that tempo? Because it's quite a high tempo game. If you don't think they could have started at that tempo, what advice would you give to someone coming into the academy this year that wants to play in the highest level possible?
I think a few of them, what's happened to them, what we've had a lot of discussions as coaches, is a lot of them come in wanting to be in the top team straight away, but they come from that transition from Sunday league football, playing once a week or twice a week in the week as well, like one training session and one game on a Sunday morning, to then come into an environment which is full time. And a lot of the boys who are here at the moment, a lot of them are second and third years, so their body's adapted to it and they're used to playing full-time football. So a lot of them come in with the idea, I want to be in the top side, but the reality is sometimes it takes them a bit of time to adjust to the tempo and sort of the lifestyle of training 5 days a week and stuff. So for some of them, I think it's happened and it's been beneficial, is actually playing in like the second squad, getting a rhythm of games, playing loads of games, minutes every single week, to help their development, and then later in the season try and push on back into that Cat 1 squad or the top side. And then if they haven't made it into that top side by the end of the first season, can they put themselves in the shop window by the second season to be an established first team player? But I think for a lot of first years is don't be disengaged if you don't start in that top side, because a lot of players have actually started in the second side, and by playing a momentum of games and stuff every single week, it sort of helped their development to go and play senior football outside of our college and actually push themselves in that first team. Whereas if they stayed in that first team, maybe they wouldn't have got that opportunity because they wouldn't have got as many minutes. So I think, trust.
So who was your standout player today and why?
I think first half was Chinonso. I think his discipline was really good. One of the players, the winger he was playing against at fullback, was trying to rattle him a little bit, try and leave his foot in and take him out and stuff. But for me, Chinonso reacted really well and just sort of laughed it off and didn't get rattled, whereas some of the other players lost discipline and did. His positioning was good. His composure on the ball was really good, and he was comfortable driving with the ball, passing the ball and organising other players. So for me, he sort of stepped up today and was, in the first half especially, was really, he really stood out compared to other times he has been this season. He sort of definitely improved and developed. In the second half, his performance dropped a little bit and he sort of went a little bit more casual and cost us one of the goals. So his mindset, because he thought it was too easy, sort of dropped his standards and he ended up conceding and stuff. So for me, the second half he dropped. Whereas I thought AJ had a really good game throughout. He's sort of gone between centre-half and striker all year round, and he's sort of found his position at centre-half and enjoying his football. And I thought he had a really good display today. And I also thought Alamin as well, getting a hat-trick in a game in the first half, he had a really good performance. So for me, there was a few individuals, but I thought Chinonso stood out, especially in the first half for us.
Let's address the current issues. We've got the big games, 5-a-sides on the Friday, end of half-term games. You're inaugural arranging all this stuff. Talk to me, who's going to win them games?
I think it's going to be interesting. I think everyone's got their sights on one team winning, which is mainly second and third years. However, I've heard a few people say they reckon they might lose their heads and get a little bit confident, which it came out today, a few of them got a little bit casual and stuff, and they might let it slip. I think it'd be potentially between 2 or 3 teams who could win on Friday, but it'd be interesting because I think the majority of the students think it's all going to be down to one team, going to sort of wipe the floor with everyone. But I think some people might be surprised when they meet each other in the knockout stages who actually will win, because the games are only short and sharp, so there's no time to sit back. It's sort of all-out attack, high tempo for 6 minutes. So yeah, I think it'd be interesting.
Okay, so talking to students that are looking to come in, what can they expect if they're coming onto our programme from college, from high school, year 11?
I think for them, a lot of the boys who come on, or near enough all of them, want to sort of be within that full-time environment and want to make it to the professional level. So I think for us is sort of creating a pathway for them where they actually live that kind of lifestyle every day, so training every single day, trying to do everything as professional as possible, from the equipment to the standards to the training and everything. Just try and recreate what it would be like in a day in, day out at an academy level facility for the players, so they sort of get a taste of that environment. If they do carry on wanting to be a pro at the end of the course, brilliant. If not, a lot of them have found other avenues in terms of going on to university and stuff. So it's sort of giving them loads of different opportunities and pathways, what throughout the course of the 2-3 years they're with us might change multiple times, but it's allowing those opportunities to be there, and they dictate which pathway they want to take. But from a football standpoint, it's just doing everything we can possible and giving the players everything we can of what it would be like for them if they made that transition into a professional academy.
Great stuff. Michael Wilson, thank you very much.
Cheers, Danny.